going to take it a notch higher this time, Ibeju-Lekki. You know, it's been a major talk of business and economies in our city, Lagos. And now that was supposed to translate into an impact for our nation, Nigeria, where the Dangote Refinery that is estimated to be in several billions, right? And then we have the Deep Sea Port. We have the Free Trade Zone there as well. What's your take about all that is going on there, right? Is it a destination for people to invest? What would you say about all that has been said about that place and then what it is right now?
All right. Thank you very much for having me again. I really appreciate it. Now, Ibeju-Lekki is a powerhouse and it's supposed to be a financial powerhouse. And however, as it is today, there is still a lot that needs to be done for that to really be materialized. Okay. This has been on for more than a decade now. You know, right. I remember my first time in Ibeju-Lekki was about 13 years ago. And that was when Free Trade Zone was just starting. You know, it was just defense and all of those basic things. Dangote Refinery has not started at that time. You know, so all of these things are there. And it's supposed to create a new level of prosperity, not just for Lagos, but for Nigeria as a whole. Because whatever happens in Lagos happens in Nigeria. Okay. And so, however, as of today, we still have a lot that has not been done. Okay. A lot has not been done as far as Ibeju-Lekki is concerned. Those speculations has been made, properties have been sold on those promises. People have emptied their savings and their pensions to be able to buy properties within that axis. But nevertheless, there's still a lot that needed to be done. But if you look at it, and if it is a prophecy, we will say that Ibeju-Lekki is supposed to be a financial powerhouse. But it's not yet a financial powerhouse where it's supposed to be.
Why is the Free Trade Zone still looking empty? Yes.
Yeah, the Free Trade Zone is looking empty because many things are involved. Number one, Free Trade Zone is a partnership between Lagos State and some foreign companies. Okay. And at the same time, if you have been there of recent, you will notice that there is a big high-rise, more or less about 9 to 10 floors that have been fully built. Okay. And things are going on there. Okay. However, Free Trade Zone as a whole is bigger than just Free Trade Zone. Free Trade Zone is the entirety of that zone, starting from where the trade zone begins. Okay. So Dangote is under the Free Trade Zone. Okay. The petrochemical is under the Free Trade Zone. Fertilizer is under the Free Trade Zone. Power oil is under the Free Trade Zone. Right. All of the companies, the St. Nicholas hospitals, and all of the Shell and all of those people that have found themselves in that area, they are all operating under the Free Trade Zone. Okay. So Free Trade Zone is bigger than the building called the Trade Zone itself. However, a lot of businesses still supposed to find expression in that place, but I don't think the policy yet is favoring a lot of people to be able to move business. Because the goal of a Free Trade Zone is for people to look at the tax friendliness of the zone and begin to move their businesses there so that they can start operating their headquarters and all of those things from that zone. And that's what it is. Now, some businesses are supposed to move from Victoria Island and move the headquarters to the Free Trade Zone. For that to happen, there have to be other things that will have happened. Right. There have to be schools, there have to be apartments, there have to be all of those things. Now, the role of the government is not yet fully fulfilled in that aspect where, making it easy for people to be able to build apartments, to be able to do all of those things in that area. If that is not done, Free Trade Zone could be empty for another 10, 20 years. Yes.
Okay, so I want to ask the question I should have asked before. What's the Free Trade Zone?
Free Trade Zone, it's, so this is called Lekki Free Trade Zone.
Right. What is Lekki Free Trade Zone?
Yeah, so because we have all manner of Free Trade Zone in Nigeria. Yes. The state has Free Trade Zone, Port Harcourt, there are Free Trade Zones in different places. So Free Trade Zone is a zone where the government of the land have decided that people can begin to bring businesses, trades, commerce, and begin to do transaction and create a new city. It's like a colony, and then it's being created. But the caveat and the attraction of a Free Trade Zone is that it's not just a trade zone. Balogun Market is a trade zone. Idumota is a trade zone. Right. But however, Free Trade Zone, Lekki Free Trade Zone is a trade zone where tax is exempted. So that's why it's called Lekki Free Trade Zone.
Right.
Tax is exempted. You are exempted from paying tax by operating in that zone.
Okay.
That's what it means. So any business that move there. So what happened is that it's supposed to create what we call value migration. So value is supposed to move in that direction. And so you notice that there is road being constructed, and that is commendable. The kind of road texture that is built there is a road that can last for another 40, 50 years, in terms of, because of the machines and all of those that move in that area. So people are supposed to be moving to that zone. And that's why at the end of the day, there's supposed to be wealth transfer. Where people that own assets that look like shanties begin to sell to people that will build an high-rise and all of that. That's what that zone's supposed to be. So now, if that is not done, if we don't put that into consideration, the free trade zone is a place for business. Now remember, the fundamental of commerce is that it's what we call cluster economy. That means the moment people start working somewhere, the moment business start going on somewhere, people want apartments
around that place.
People want schools. People want
shopping malls.
So it's a cluster economy. So at the end of the day, the moment commerce shows up in a place, and that is the whole idea of trade zones, is that if we bring a trade zone somewhere and big businesses move there. For instance, Dangote has average of 40,000 people working, according to Business Day, 11,000 foreigners and 29,000 Nigerians. That's not joke. Where you can have a congregation of about 40,000 people, 11,000 foreigners working. That's not a joke.
Without their family members counted.
Exactly. So that's a lot. That's a lot happening. However, ecosystem is happening in ecosystem. You must make it easier for people to be able to build apartments. You must make it easier for people. Because without apartments, without all of those things occurring, that becomes like a ghost town. And it becomes very dangerous for anything to happen there, because it means that you will still create a menace. It means that guy have to work there and then move out of that zone to another place. At the end of the day, people come in the morning, and that is not what it is. The commuting time of the people have to be reduced. For that to happen, there have to be friendliness in working with people. And that is what happened right now. So free trade zone, a lot needs to happen. Ibeju-Lekki is a powerhouse, like I said before. However, this powerhouse is still a potential. And you know one thing about potential? Potential can be destroyed. Potential may not see the light of the day. Something can be a potential without being maximized. Potential must be turned to reality. And so for potential to become a reality, certain things must be in place. And government has its role, individual has a role. Government role is a role of policy. And the policy must be friendly for the people to be able to jump on it, for investors to come in and be able to do a lot of stuff.